Good evening, folks. Keith here. Hoping everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, loving life. Was on earlier and talking about the trust in banking. And today I wanted to talk to everybody about you and your. We always think about all these bills and everything, and many of us know about these Federal Reserve notes being promised to pay and are not making the payment. And so today I wanted to get on and talk to everybody about this whole predicament and where it starts. And we all know a lot about the birth certificate and everything. But when it's when we turn 18 years of age and we sign that SS5, the Social Security application. And so we're going to take a look at that first, because I want to show you something on there. Directly related to the you and your. And so first, I'll pull up this application. And this here is the PDF of the application online. And it's got the 4 pages of instruction, starts out at the top. You see it's got the form number, and it's got an OMB number over here, and tells you everything about how you're supposed to fill it out. And it says right there, and we see the word you first off. Important, you, this is in all capital letters, must, as if though that's to imply that you must do something. However, it then goes on to say, provide a properly completed application. It means you are applying for something. It means it's voluntary. And the required evidence before we can process your application. We can only accept original documents or documents certified by the custodian of the original record. We can only accept the original documents or documents certified by the custodian of the original record. So either way, they can only accept something of origin, whether it come from the custodian of the original record, or if you can provide an original document that would supersede a document certified by somebody else. They didn't author it. Somebody else authored it and they certified it. A superior document is one that you can author yourself that would fix the errors, the mistakes of the original record that can't be rebutted. So they can accept an original document under penalty of perjury, so long as it corrects the mistakes here. So that's, like I said, that's your 4 pages. And then it's got the application. Like I said, it's got the form number up here, the OMB number here, and then it has information it's looking for. When we see first, middle, and last, that's a legal name. We can make a correction on this by putting the first and middle in the first name area. Keith-Orland. Leave this part blank, and then little here. Full name at birth if other than above. full name at birth is still going to be the same. It changes upon certification. Okay? Very important part to understand there. We're putting this in the wrong style. And none of that really all matters when we get down to the bottom here, and I'll show you. But before we get there, I want to show you something else. When we talk about citizenship, it says citizenship, check 1. And it says U.S. citizen, legal alien allowed to work, or legal alien not allowed to work. See instructions on page 3. So you can get a Social Security card even for non-working purposes. Other. See instructions on page 3. This other, when you mark that other, you're supposed to include an affidavit with it. So when we go back up here and we see we can only accept original documents, that's what they're looking for. That's how you correct this SS5. So you're going to mark other here. And then you're going to include an affidavit. You're going to attach a handwritten or hand-typed, hand-printed affidavit stating that you are not a United States citizen. You're not a legal alien allowed to work. You're not a legal alien not allowed to work. You are a what is known in their classification as a state national. Down here at the bottom, this is where we're going to talk about the you and your even more. It says your signature. And we discussed this the other day in a video with Malika. And then it says your relationship to the person. Your relationship to the person. Then it says self. You can never be the person. That box should never be marked. Period. That is distinctly not yourself. Relationship to the person in item 1 is natural or adoptive parent. If the natural or adoptive parent filled this out, that's what they would put. If they were not a natural or adoptive parent, but rather a guardian ad litem in a custody situation or something like that, they would put legal guardian. Otherwise, the man should mark other and then specify something such as entitlement holder, and we'll see that later, or you can put something like payor, P-A-Y-O-R. They would understand that very succinctly. Entitlement holder, true beneficiary, payor. I don't like using the true beneficiary because that means you have to then step up either into the trustee position or the owner position, either way, to get these people to do anything. So rather, I would step into the trustee position and take that away from them at all and put payor and let them know that as the grantor by my signature, and I would cross out your, and I would cross out your here because of what I'm going to show you next. And this again is something we discussed in the video with Malika the other day. This is Title 20 of the Code of Federal Regulations 422.104, and we see it's employees' benefits. Why are we considering ourselves employees? Because of that application. That's a Social Security Administration application, and it has a number on it from the Office of Management and Budget. That's a federal program operated under the Government Accountability Office, and they issue the documentation that is used by the Comptroller General, who is also regulated under the Office of Management and Budget and the Government Accountability Office. Okay? So they have an Office of Management and Budget number, and they're wanting you to fill this out for their budget purposes, and therefore they are going to presume that you are an employee by filling this out. You have to let them know this little box down here is very important. Notice they have you sign it first. Box 17 is your signature, and then after your signature, they have section 18 that they want you to fill out. This is inherently wrong. Your signature should always be last. Always. We can't correct this on here in that format, but we can in the affidavit that we attach to this. So again, cross out your, and it says relationship to the person, and then you put other, specify, entitlement holder, or payor. Otherwise, they're going to presume that you are a guardian ad litem, a natural or adoptive parent, or self, showing that you're obviously confused, or that you are already an employee here or here, some way, somehow. These people all have Social Security numbers. That's how they're operating in commerce, and they don't know it themselves. To correct it yourself, we're going to put entitlement holder or payor. And again, that's going to be consistent with the language you use in the affidavit you'll attach for nationality. I am the payor, or I am the entitlement holder of the public trust. Whatever. Again, that's why it's important to learn this stuff. Anyway, it says employee benefits. It says who can be assigned a Social Security number. Persons eligible for SSN assignment. Who's doing the assigning? You're the one that's signing. Are they signing anything? So who did the assignment? And then it says we can assign you a Social Security number if you meet the evidence requirements in 422.107. And you are. So we're not even going to look at this 422.107. We're not going to be concerned about this because right off it says, and you are a United States citizen. No man can be a United States citizen. A United States citizen is the conferring of a nationality upon the person. It can never come off of the paper. Ever. You can only act or perform under an obligation as a United States citizen. And that's why a lot of times they say in regards to the Social Security Administration, you got to go in and fill something out in person. Then it goes on to say an alien lawfully admitted to the United States for permanent residence, res, body, identification in person, or under authority of law permitting. Realize right here, they're recognizing that they have, or under other authority of law. They realize they don't have the ultimate authority of law. You to work in the United States. That's different than to. Describes how we determine if a non-immigrant alien is permitted to work in the United States. Again, in person. To operate banking activities or banking duties I spoke about this in my video earlier today. Banking duties of the United States in person. Okay? So, back up here, we see this is blue line highlighted. And so we checked that out the other day, and it showed us you means an individual who owes a debt to the United States within the scope of this subpart. An alien lawfully admitted to the United States because they applied for it. This is an application of employment in person for the United States through that trust I spoke of in my video earlier today, of the state Social Security agencies, the State Social Security Administration, the federal government, which is known as the United States, and it's all done for transfers of federal tax purposes. So the trust involves the Social Security Administration, the United States, and the IRS. And it's all done through the Government Accountability Office that puts out Office of Management and Budget forms for use by the Comptroller General. Okay? Now, when we look at this 422.104, it talks about 422, meet the evidence requirements in 422.107. We're going to take a look. Oh, wait a minute. It was the U. The U shows us the source is 422.402. So we're going to take a look at that source. And it says, what special definitions apply to this subpart? And it says, administrative wage garnishment is a process whereby we order your employer, means every person. So employer is in person, period. To withhold a certain amount from your disposable pay. Disposable pay. First of all, we have dis, means away. Posable, that's your position, as in deposit. Again, I spoke about in the video earlier today on banking and the trust. Disposable is the same as depositable. It's a disposition. They have displaced something. They have displaced the pay. Disposable pay means that part of your total compensation, including but not limited to salary or wages, bonuses, commissions, and vacation pay from your employer after deduction of health insurance premiums and amounts withheld as required by law. Premium. Reward given for a specific act. Reward. Profit derived from booty. From pray, before, see pre. Emir, to buy. Originally, to take. I'm sorry, the premium is a mistake. Mistake. Root. M, as in employ. To take. Distribute. Take away from what you actually tribute. Give unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give unto the Father what belongs to the Father. for they are truly putting you in surety. Since in the 1660s from Italian, adjectival sense of superior in quality is first attested 1925, originally in reference to butter, premium butter as opposed to inferior butter. That's the premium. It is a taking. From your disposable pay means that part of your total compensation from your employer after taking of health insurance takings and amounts withheld as required by law. So they are taking because you are allowing them to. Okay? As we go on, it says debt means any amount of money or property that we determine is owed to the United States and that arises from a program that we administer or an activity that we perform. These debts include program overpayments made under Title II or Title 16 of the Social Security Act, and any other debt that meets the definition of claim or debt at 31 U.S.C. 3701. So when we click on this one, notice this one's not highlighted. This one is. It takes us to that definition. But here, it's telling us there's another definition of debt. As it states here, that meets the definition of claim or debt. So we're going to take a look at 31 U.S.C. 3701. It says definitions and application. There's that word again, application. How do they apply that debt? Well, they apply it through the definition of you. Right below debt, we have that same disposable pay definition. And then right below that, it says we and our, or us, means the Social Security Administration. And then below that, it says you, means an individual who owes a debt to the United States within the scope of this subpart. And when we see this one, it takes us to the one above. Within this same section. But when we click on this one and go to 3701, we come upon here. And under B, it says in subchapter 2 of this chapter and subsection A8 of this section, the term claim or debt means any amount of funds or property that has been determined by an appropriate official of the federal government to be owed to the United States by a person, organization, or entity other than another federal agency. And then it goes on and says a claim includes. So this is different than a claim or debt. This is a claim includes without limitation funds owed on account of loans made, insured, or guaranteed by the government including any deficiency or any difference between the price obtained by the government in the sale of property. They obtained a price of the actual property and converted it through the sale of property known as services. When you signed up that application, Social Security 5 application, SS5, you signed up for services, health and welfare services, in which you agree to act in person as a citizen of the United States, and the amount owed to the government on a mortgage mort being dead. Dead. Gauge being a way to measure is what they determine grades and pay scales, wages. That is their scale of justice on the property. Very important language here, people. Amount owed to the government on a mortgage on the property. What's the death gauge on the property? And where is that value coming from? Where's the personal value coming from? Is it extending from you or the government? Expenditures of non-appropriated funds, including actual and administrative costs. The administrative costs are determined by the Federal Reserve notes. Somebody needs to include the actual cost of all of their bookkeeping. This one here says related to shoplifting, theft detection, and theft prevention. Shoplifting I don't care about, but theft detection and theft prevention is very important. Overpayments, including payments of disallowed, not allowed, the actual costs not allowed by audits performed by the Inspector General of the agency administering the program. Any amount the United States is authorized by statute to collect for the benefit of any person. So if they're allowed by statute to collect, what is the species they are collecting? The unpaid. These are inconsistencies, people. The unpaid share of any non-federal partner in a program involving a federal payment and a matching or cost sharing payment by the non-federal partner. So we're actually talking about cost sharing, and we are not getting our share of the dividends that are supposed to come back to us. And then it says any fines or penalties assessed by an agency and other amounts of money or property owed to the government. The claim is we don't owe them, they owe us. Okay? Under UCC we see collection and enforcement by secured party. We're going to collect what has been overpaid with promise. We are no longer going to sit in this circulation of monetary currency, making promise or transferring, issuing, or giving promises to pay. We are going to enforce. The head of an executive, judicial, or legislative agency shall try to collect a claim of the United States government for money or property arising out of the activities of or preferred to the agency, may compromise a claim of the government of not more than $100,000, including interest or such higher amount as the Attorney General may from time to time prescribe, may suspend or end collection action on a claim referred to in Clause 2. May of this subsection, when it appears that no person liable on the claim has the present or prospective ability to pay a significant amount of the claim, or the cost of collecting the claim is likely to be more than the amount recovered. This is your duty, people. You need to make the assignment to them to suspend collection on a claim referred to in 2. Why? Appears that no person liable on the claim has the present or prospective ability to pay a significant amount of the claim, or the cost of collecting the claim is likely to be more than the amount recovered, because their Federal Reserve notes have zero intrinsic value. Administrative offset means withholding funds payable by the United States. How can you pay through an administrative offset when it's only payable by the United States? That's why they need you to operate as a United States citizen, so you can pay through administrative offset. But I assure you, people, that's a trap for federal tax purposes, period. I hope you guys go back and watch that video I posted earlier about that trust. It explains how they're operating on funds received from a foreign bank. Those funds were never received. It was just done on a signature and presumed. And now they're floating all these funds around. We'll say, well, there's your signature. Well, there's your instrument. It's got that value of all them Federal Reserve notes. No, I don't care about them Federal Reserve notes. I want to know where that signature came from and what was the substance of the value that backed that. That's why it's important when we do these SS5s to realize what they're saying on there when they use the words you and your and where they're placing them. Like I pointed out, number 17, it wants you to put the signature down, and then all of a sudden it includes another section to follow up after your signature. Quid pro quo, shouldn't you put another signature? You want to qualify that box so it's not arguable. So think about this stuff, people. If anybody has any questions, feel free to get a hold of me. I know a lot of times I go through this stuff a little quick and people don't comprehend it, but that's why I say feel free to contact me and ask me questions. I'll be posting my other forum links in the title to the post when I get done here. Feel free to hit that PayPal link. I could sure use some love. Send some love through the PayPal. And in the meantime, remember, that's not a requirement. I would certainly appreciate it, but I also appreciate you sharing the information and the forums and the videos and all that as well. Please keep doing that and keep coming back watching the videos, and let's grow this this unity and get together, because remember, if it wasn't for you guys, even I wouldn't be doing this. So God bless. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.